All right. See if we are live. Just gonna double check YouTube. We've got a large tornado that is currently ongoing, and potentially another one that could potentially go into another tornado later on down the line here, southern side of the Hook Echo. We're just gonna double check that I'm live because it's not wanting to pick up on my end. All right, we are indeed live here. So I'm going to go ahead and just quickly fix up a few things. There's your debris signature. This is in northeastern Iowa. I've been watching this storm for a while. The velocity signature has weakened, so hopefully that is that should be a good sign in terms of this storm weakening here. But there is a tornado debris signature. We have a strong tornado ongoing here, so make sure you are in your safe spot. I've been watching this storm for the last hour, actually ever since I went offline. I was keeping a very, very close eye on this storm, and it is now producing a likely strong tornado in extreme northeastern Iowa. And it is semi-discreet, which is why it's had a good opportunity to do so. And it tried it 2-3 times, but the tornado lifted right away, and finally this one succeeded. And we have a large debris ball here, lofting debris almost 10,000 feet up into the atmosphere. So that is considered a significant to potentially even an intense tornado that is ongoing right now in northeastern Iowa. Currently trying to find something here. That looks to still be ongoing as well on that new scan. The next area we'll be watching for a potential strong tornado to develop later down the line is on the southern side of that Hook Echo. So this was actually a bit of a detachment of the other Hook Echo. You could see this was your first hook that produced a very brief tornado that was almost managed to get pretty strong there, and then that kind of fell apart, and you got a new hook that popped up here. We actually had a reflectivity debris ball here. I saw that, and I mean, I was seconds from hitting the stream button, but I didn't know how long this thing was going to last, so I still don't know if it's how long this is going to last. Just make sure you are in your safe spot here in northeastern Iowa. This is your only tornado warning, and it is a most likely a strong tornado currently ongoing. So make sure you are seeking shelter if you're inside that warned area. And we will see how long this thing persists. Hopefully, it is already on a. Hopefully, it's already lifted. I mean, the velocity couplet is not nearly as tight as what it was when we began. I'm going to go ahead and put the pinned comment in the chat really quick. Let's see. Yeah, that is still a debris signature right there. So make sure you are seeking shelter if you're in this warning in northeastern Iowa. That is a confirmed tornado warning. Let me just double check where, yes, we are on that scene. So just make sure, like I said, you're in your safe spot. That is a most likely a pretty strong tornado ongoing, and I'm more paying attention to the southern storm or the southern Hook Echo here close to Rossville. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my GR Earth so that way we can get the notifications here of when those tornado warnings do get issued. And there we go. So we just managed to get a discrete storm in northeastern Iowa. I've been watching this one. You know, we went offline when this storm was getting tornado warned here well to the west of Bluffton. This was its first attempt at producing a strong tornado from what I've seen on radar. It looked like it failed it. And then it went ahead and occluded, then came back, tried to produce again. It failed again, came back for the third time when it then succeeded with a very intense couplet of almost 180 mile per hour gate-to-gate velocities. And that lasted one scan. It immediately occluded. And now we are here for its, I don't even know, attempt. And it succeeded, and it looks like this is starting to weaken now. So I'm going to be paying a whole heck of a lot more attention to this one in Waterville now. So this is your old Hook Echo, your old tornado. This is probably going to be an area of interest where we could see a new tornado spark up and potentially become strong as well. Now, normally I don't... normally I do not... do these live streams unless we have a PDS tornado warning. But it was a strong enough debris signature to where I wanted to go live for it. Even if we're live for just a couple minutes, better than nothing here. And yeah, that northern one is definitely occluded. Let's go ahead and go to the PTDS. That's the potential tornado debris signature. And you can see it still has a 100% chance of debris there. It doesn't mean that there's 100% a tornado ongoing. It means that there is a 100% chance of debris being in the atmosphere. This has most likely been lofted by a tornado. The tornado is now lifted, and that debris is still falling from the atmosphere back down to the ground. So that is why it's still picking up on that potential debris signature. As you can see from that new scan there, that debris did lighten up considerably. And yeah, we'll just keep watch on that. Hopefully it doesn't recycle there. It very well could, but I'm way more concerned about this hook echo heading towards Waterville here, Harper's Ferry, or Ferry rather, as it's moving off to the southeast up here in northeastern Iowa. So make sure you're in your safe spot. This tornado warning is in effect until the top of the hour out here at midnight. And yeah, I've been watching, like I said, I've been watching the whole entire life cycle of this storm. I haven't looked away from it. Ooh, was that a video of it? I don't think there's a chaser out here, but I just saw a video of a tornado. I never know if it might have been, and it was actually from the tornado earlier today. Chasers are still uploading their footage from that. Oh my goodness. We haven't gotten that new velocity signature, and here comes that new tornado warning for this area. Okay.
Tornado warning for Central Allamakee County in northeastern Iowa, Allamakee County in Iowa.
This is still a confirmed tornado on the ground here. Switch back over to this. So they have still continued that radar confirmed tornado warning. I imagine that's for this area here. And they just put the observed tag there just in case. You'll see that new warning pop up in just a second here. And it should be blue as well because it is it's an observed warning. They did a big tornado warning for that. So that goes all the way into far northeastern Iowa, to the border of Iowa and west central Minnesota there as well. So please be in your safe spot. This was indeed a strong to potentially intense tornado that was ongoing just moments ago. I did catch the end of it. It's hard to judge how long these things are going to stay on the ground, and I don't want to notify you guys unless I have at least some confidence of this being a notable threat for the next couple minutes. But man, that ZDR, wow. A classic strong tornado debris signature that we just went through right there. Lofting debris over 11,000 feet up. That definitely was a very strong to intense tornado there. Let's go back in that signature, and I want to go to when it peaked right between this scan and this scan. Whew. All trees. Mostly all trees. I do unfortunately see some houses here, but a good chunk of that is trees. So I really, really hope that that debris is just limited to trees and it missed that house, because it touched down, peaked at intensity, and it is going, I mean, it's hard to judge exactly where a tornado went just based off the debris signatures on radar, because debris doesn't always correlate to the exact, actually, I should phrase that. Debris never correlates to the exact size of a tornado. Unless you somehow get very lucky with just the debris lofting the perfect amount of width of the tornado, which is very rare. Because typically, a tornado is going to be lifting a lot of debris at the surface, and then that goes up the entire funnel and even into the wall cloud as well. So most of the time, keyword most of the time, the debris signature is going to be bigger than the actual tornado. That area of rotation did fall apart, but look at that new one starting up right here. So we lost this area of rotation. Let me get a different color. So we lost this area of rotation that produced an intense tornado. We lost this other area of concern for rotation. And now we're starting to get this second one right here. That's kind of in between the two. Right in the... right in the clear slot of this supercell. And I have a feeling we're probably going to lose that, and we're going to see another hook try to form here, and then that other hook is going to be the one that could produce another strong tornado. I think we're going to have to wait another cell cycle here. Uh, I didn't check mesoanalysis. I ain't checked that in 3 hours, so let me go let me go see the environment we're dealing with out here. It should still be very favorable, and it... Ooh, wow. Yeah, it's not even half as favorable at what it was before. So that's the good news, is that this thing shouldn't be a long-lasting supercell. Everything else died out. Everything else behaved. After we ended the live stream, we had just this one storm that kept getting tornado warned in Iowa. That's been it. After we ended, everything went sub-severe. We did have a lot of tornadoes. I think we had over... Honestly, I think we had over 6 tornadoes touch down. Just not but within 30 minutes of us ending stream, we had... probably about 5-6 tornadoes touchdown from Beaufort all the way to Charleston. We had lines and batches of supercells that went onshore and produced multiple tornadoes and did a lot of damage. So hopefully everyone's all right in that area. None of those warranted urgent coverage because they were all very brief. Unfortunately, it did seem like one was on the stronger side. I don't know exactly where that stronger tornado hit. I think it was I have a screenshot of it. Like I said, when I end stream, it's not like I just completely go away and don't look at radar anymore. Kiowa Island, I think is how you say that. This area right here in South Carolina, southwest of Charleston. I believe that area was hit by a decently strong tornado. Alright, no organized couplet here whatsoever. This is doing a cell cycle, so it's likely attempting to get a new area of circulation in order to try to produce another strong tornado. I don't know if it will be able to succeed here. It's kind of a 50-50. It's really going to be a 50-50 here on if it's able to. So we'll just monitor it for a little longer here. The HRRR for tomorrow still shows multiple tornadoes being a very real possibility as early as... geez, now it even went earlier. Gracious day. Apparently as early as like 6 a.m. I don't think that's going to happen. All right, we got a new scan here. We'll wait for that to come in on velocity. It's definitely going to try again. You can see that couplet in the clear air slot, so we're just going to have to watch it closely. It's too hard to tell if that is an area of rotation or if it's simply corruption. I would definitely lean a whole lot more to corruption than a actual area of rotation on happening there. But we'll just keep a very close eye on it. Look at these little areas of rotation too. Just notice that Fairview, Wisconsin, also up here in what is that? Reedstown. It's Reedstown, like the weed whacker, but spelled actually like you're reading, so it's Reedstown. Little areas of rotation there in Wisconsin. I don't think those are going to be too much of a tornado threat. Just some brief, probably some very brief circulations. They've been doing that for quite a while, most likely. This is the only one that's really been significant, is this supercell on the southwest flank. That allows it to get a lot more of the... It kind of tap into a lot better of the environment. You know, it's semi-discrete. It's not having much cell interactions. It's got those south-southeasterly winds that are moving up to the northwest, and that's helping to increase the rotation in it, thus giving it a hook echo and a really good signature on radar in terms of just overall supercell strength. It is starting to get cell interactions, and if these cell interactions do manage to move more to the northeast, this storm will probably be done for. But if these light to moderate range showers can stay south of that hook echo, I imagine that this is going to be able to produce another tornado very, very soon. A very imminent tornado out here in Waterville. Could very easily recycle. So we're just going to continue to keep a really, really close eye on that. And it's been trying this for hours at this point, ever since I last live streamed. I mean, this thing's gone through at least 4 different cell cycles, and this is the 5th one. Typically, it's about 20 minutes between one and the other. So we're gonna give this all the way until probably 12:30 or so to see how it looks at that time. I won't be staying up too late covering this. You know, we've already been up tracking this. What we did a 4-hour, was it a 4-hour stream earlier? Some hour stream earlier, and that was our main coverage. Our next SPC update will actually be for tomorrow's risk here in probably about an hour and a half or so. Yeah, let's go back over to South Carolina real quick. I just want to go check that. So all those storms that I was talking about before we ended this stream, all those cells, all those water spouts, they all moved on land. They all intensified, and almost all of them produced tornadoes. I counted, I believe 3 tornadoes were ongoing at once. There was 3 different notable debris signatures happening at once. But they were all very brief. They all lasted like 1 to 2 scans, and they were, you know, they lifted just as fast as they formed. Well, if that's the case, Caleb, I've been live for 16 minutes now, so you can add on 16 more minutes to that time. All right, let's go to the current radar there. So not really any notable areas of rotation here in offshore either. I mean, there's a few little couplets, but none that really stick out like they did before, so that's good news. We want to go back up to, yeah, up here in Iowa. Look at that couplet right back. Took about 1 second to go ahead and intensify again. It looks like it's starting to struggle with cell interaction, so if that keeps happening, this will not last long at all. So just make sure you're in your safe spot if you're in this confirmed tornado warning in northeastern Iowa for the Harpers Ferry area, Waterville. Please be in your safe spot, as a tornado was ongoing and could redevelop at any second again. These storms are definitely weaker than what they were before, you know, when we first live streamed for 4 hours. But it's just this one storm that just won't let go. It seems like we have that every now and then, about once a week or so. We just have a particular storm that won't let go of a solid environment, and it just stays, you know, significant enough over a course of hours. And in this case, it was the far southwest supercell that formed. And you can see there's nothing else. I mean, literally nothing else. There's some very light rain showers here, some heavy rain showers here, heavy rain showers here. And we just have this one storm that just keeps tapping into the good environment and continues to produce tornadoes, and even some strong tornadoes here. This thing's produced at least 1 strong tornado, and it also produced 2 other very brief, weak tornadoes before that strong one. This is a Andover type hook here. Look at this. Here's your hook echo. Notice how you have a big old gap right there, and then you continue into your hook here. So this is an Andover type supercell where basically that's just where the hook echo is detached from the main base of the supercell. And the most notable one that did that was the Andover tornado, last year, I think. It did weaken, so this is, it's on a weakening trend. These cell mergers are going to help destroy it. I don't know, though. See, the cell mergers have been feeding into it for a while. This just looks a whole lot disorganized now that I started streaming, so yay. I have to go live so that way tornadoes lift. You know me. Just please stay in your safe spot if you're in these tornado warnings. The observed warning continues for 34 more minutes here for Lansing, Lynxville, Harpers Ferry, Waterville, and northeastern Iowa. Tornado watch goes for another hour and 4 minutes. I didn't see anything about them talking about reissuing or continuing a watch. Yeah, they don't have anything in terms of continuing a watch out here. One storm isn't enough to issue a full-fledged watch over a large area. So just be in your safe spot. I don't think there's a tornado on the ground at this moment. It is still an observed warning. The scenes that we have here on this channel go off of the warnings, not off of, what we think's happening. It goes off of what the National Weather Service has for general warnings here. Which, again, at the moment, all observed. What radar is that? This is the KARX La Crosse, Wisconsin radar site. Radar program GR2 analysis. Yep, it's just going to keep coming back. See that? It just keeps coming back. It dissipates for one scan, then poof, comes right back. You can see it. Watch this. So there's a strong tornado that wanted us to come on over here. And then look at this. So there's the new area rotation. Gone. Comes back. Gone. Comes back. Gone. Comes back. That's what it keeps doing. Because it has these cell mergers that keep hitting it on the southwest side of the hook echo. So the storm's not actually able to, sustain an area of rotation. And it just continues to die. Just continues to die over and over again. Every time it tries to produce, another storm hits it, kills it off, tries to produce it again. Right when it gets close, another storm hits it and prevents it from doing so again. So we might be able to squeeze out one more tornado before this thing is completely done and it goes into that all this cell merging mess here. Very far down the line, it's going to be heading towards the Mount Zion area, north of Mount Hope, Blue River in southwestern Wisconsin. Like I said, it's just this one stubborn storm that won't let go, and that's it. I don't think it will last that long, though. It's definitely running out of juice. Haley, if it does recycle, it's not going to have that long of an opportunity here. I'd say an hour at most. Let's see, this is midnight, 1 a.m. Yeah. I'd say about 1 a.m. Eastern. It's going to have to recycle before that because the capping is going to get way too strong. The instability is going to get way too low. And the storm's going to be in just an overall unfavorable cell merging experience. Second severe weather season B? I have no idea. I have not looked into that. I can't tell you. It's going to really depend on how the hurricane season goes. And I don't know. I don't know which one's going to favor a second severe weather season more. The La Nina or El Nino here. I think El Nino would favor second season a bit more. So we'll just look at some of the... we'll cross that path when we get there. We're not even through hurricane season yet. DJ, we went back live for a strong tornado that was ongoing. I could tell you this, after I end, I'm going to sleep. I was about to call it quits. And turn off my computer once it died out right here. Once this died out, I got so close to starting the stream up for that area rotation, and then I almost went offline and just went to sleep until I saw this scan here, and I was like, "Yep, well, that's gonna be a tornado." I saw those 6 pixels. I was like, "Oh, might as well stay on for a bit longer." Saw that big scan, and then saw this one, and I thought this is when it was lifting. Because the area of rotation started to weaken, the debris signature broadened out, and then once that happened, I went live. And then it eventually did lift. Yes, look at this. Look at this, it's going to try again. As long as those, it did get hit by one big cell merge, so as long as we're going to stay clear, if these two can stay south over the next 10 minutes, I bet this area is going to rapidly intensify in rotation over the next 10 to 15 minutes, if not maybe even sooner than that. I need to look at the lower level wind shear we have in place here. Plenty. So if this thing just gets by itself like it is now, it's given that opportunity. We'll see how rapidly it can rotate here. It is in a very, very, very good environment. The Supercell composite isn't that high, but like I said, it's never always about Supercell composite. The other ingredients are really, really good here. If this happened in the middle of the day, you bet we'd be having long track strong tornadoes. Unfortunately, it's happening at night, so it's more difficult to see for the public, but that means it won't be, we don't have this happening with, like, every supercell. Like, earlier today, when we had 6, 7 different tornado warnings ongoing, that won't happen because the instability is limited and the capping is building in. Here comes a new tornado warning. I bet it will be a radar indicated one for west central Wisconsin. There's your beep.
Tornado warning for Central Crawford County in southwestern Wisconsin, Crawford County in Wisconsin.
Yeah, this is definitely going to have an opportunity to drop another tornado easily. Man, what a beast of a supercell. So nocturnal events always have two things. It's really a case between two different things. Either storms rapidly intensify as the sun sets, because the lower level jet can help crank up, also depends on the timing of the trough, but it can help initiate thunderstorms. Oh my goodness, and promote rapid intensification of supercells, or the capping builds in and everything dies out. And today was a case of capping builds in, everything dies out, and the lower level jet just managed to get just right in place with the warm front, the cold front, and the low pressure. And there just happened to be a cell that already fired there, and that's why it's surviving. Because you have your low pressure here, you have your cold front back out in this area, your warm front's extending pretty far. Actually, I think your warm front's really far south, like here. And you just happen to have a cell smack dab in the middle of it, right at the triple point. And so that cell right there gets all the juice, all the energy. Now we're back down to radar indicated for now. I have a feeling that won't last long based off this current look here. If we can get this thing to go out a little bit more south, that hook needs to come out a little bit more away from the precipitation core. But it's already rapidly intensified for an area of rotation. It depends on where in southwestern Wisconsin. If you're out in front of this storm, I highly suggest you stay up and watch it like a hawk over the next hour and a half. So if you're anywhere from the Eastman area, Mount Sterling, down south towards Bridgeport, this area here, all the way over towards Dodgeville, I highly suggest keeping a very close eye on this supercell as it nears your area over the next hour and a half. Just waiting for a new scan here. We could very easily see a debris signature on the next frame. Wouldn't shock me whatsoever. I'm going to mute this really fast. I'm going to pull my mic closer because it's late, so I don't want to be too loud and end up waking my family up. Nope. There's our new scan. No debris signature yet, so that's good news. Hopefully we continue with that. Still a beast of a supercell. The hook echo is not very well defined. It's very much embedded in here. It's a very embedded hook, so this isn't a completely classic supercell now. Your hook echo would be like right there. It has like no room for inflow, no room for clear air there, so it's not the best, it's not the healthiest looking supercell. But the environment it's in, mixed with the cold front, warm front, mixed with the dry line, as well as the lower level jet that is ramped up over the last 3 hours, I mean, it's in a really good environment. It is in a really good environment. It's just it's pending storm mergers. If these cells keep merging with it, it's gonna keep hurting the storm, depending on how fast they merge with it. Because in this particular environment, um, if a cell hits the storm and it gets like 10 minutes without another cell hit, it's going to have that short window to produce another tornado. But if we keep having, storm after storm after storm, like 5 minutes after each other, or even less than that, it's going to keep hurting the storm because the updraft won't have enough time to thrive and produce an area of rotation. That also could be a little region of rotation. I've been keeping an eye on that on the last few frames here. This general area has moved off to the south-southeast, but it's not doing the best here. Definitely the southwest flank of the supercell is where you have the highest tornado risk, easily. Right here. Like I said, this is our only tornado warning in effect right now. If you guys are just now tuning in, at midnight here on the East Coast, we are covering a singular supercell that has produced multiple tornadoes, including a decently long-tracked, strong tornado that warranted us to go live earlier. It was a strong tornado that went and touched down on the ground about 12:29 p.m. or 11:29 p.m. Eastern time, and then it lifted right about 11:40. So it was about a 12+ minute tornado there, and it was pretty significant over its lifespan. You can see a big debris signature here, reflectivity debris ball, lofted debris about 12,000 feet up into the atmosphere before lifting. And this storm has since not produced another tornado, so it's been just a little while since we've seen another tornado occur here. And it seems like as long as we keep seeing these cell interactions very frequently, this storm won't be able to produce another. The environment rapidly becomes unfavorable after 1 p.m. It became very unfavorable at 8:30, 9 o'clock today, which is why we stopped the live stream. But like I said, this storm just latched onto that warm front with the triple point, and poof. It was able to become a long-tracked supercell producing tornadoes along its whole journey here. So if we go all the way back, a bit of a flash warning here. This was the storm that we ended with one tornado warning active for Lime Springs. It ended up producing a tornado shortly after that, after we ended, then another one, and then produced a strong one with this confirmed warning, then lifted and produced another strong one that warranted us to go live here. And now, again, it hasn't produced one since. It's finally back to radar indicated, and hopefully that continues. We are getting a burst of convection on satellite imagery, which is likely a signal of Debby attempting to strengthen this band here. This band's likely intensifying. So we will probably see another water spout turning into tornado risk here as storms move inland over the next entire night here, as well as this band's going to continue to cause flash flooding over Charleston. This is most likely the start of your 30 inches of rainfall for Charleston. And it will continue to do this for the next 4 days. Still 2 areas of rotation to keep an eye on here. We just got a tornado warning in South Carolina.
Charleston County in South Carolina.
There you go. Charleston County in South Carolina. That's where your tornado warning is. It's totally broken for South Carolina. But we're going to keep an eye on both of these areas of rotation in Wisconsin. They both look interesting enough. Here comes another tornado warning. This one's probably going to be for... you know what? I have no idea. That might have just been the same warning reiterated twice on this software. Yeah, I don't think that's another warning. But we did just get a tornado warning for Charleston. Not shocked with that. I was literally just talking about those storms. I believe it's for this cell over Charleston right now. Also over, yep, there you go, over Riverland Terrace, West Ashley. Please seek shelter immediately, as a tornado is very much imminent there. I was just beginning to talk about that band, too. Because I noticed it was starting to explode on satellite. Well, we're going to stay live to make sure this thing can die out here. So if you guys know anybody in the path of this storm who isn't seeking shelter, just make sure you send them a text. Even if you think they're seeking shelter, send them a text to make sure they are, as a tornado could produce at any moment, could drop down here in this tornado warned area, which is in southwestern Wisconsin, north of Hope, well, north of Mount Hope this time. Let's see here. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Like I said, we're gonna continue this all the way till at least 12:30 to make sure this stuff dies out. I hope it will. Considering how much convection's around this, look at how it was before when it began its journey of trying to produce significant tornadoes versus how it is now. It's just overall, it's in a lot more of rain over here, rain, a bunch of rain to its south and southwest. So it's just not in the best condition here. Storms all around it. Still very much going to be capable of producing a tornado, potentially even a brief, strong tornado here as well over the next 50-some minutes. We did get a new HRRR. The only reason why I'm going to look at that is to see what it does tomorrow. There it is, downtrended on tomorrow. It always does that. HRRR is not a perfect model run. You got to know its horrific biases over here. It doesn't know when to stop sticking with a scenario. Ooh. Is there spectrum width on that? Ooh. ZDR? No. I'm wondering if that might be a very small CC drop there. We'll give it another scan to see if that CC gets any bigger, any more potent there. We may have a tiny tornado ongoing here east of Bell Center and southwestern Wisconsin. Okay, based on that new velocity scan, I'd say no. That's why I wanted to give it another scan there. So 2 areas of rotation now. We've got one in Eastman, and we also have one southeast of Mount Zion in southwestern Wisconsin. Let's see, New Berlin, Wisconsin. It's just this one storm, so if you're not in front of this, you're fine. That is going to be... Yep, you're good. Probably a lot of heavy rain overnight, starting right around 2 a.m. or so. But there should not be, keyword should not be, any severe storms there. You should be good to go. Like I said, really, this area is what we're going to be watching until this gets towards Dodgeville. Up until then, it's going to have a chance to produce a few tornadoes. I don't know when the new SPC outlook comes out. Like, I don't know when that comes out for tomorrow. And I don't even know what they'd pull. Tomorrow's risk looks a lot more uncertain than today's. Yeah, it just doesn't look the healthiest. Those 2 areas of rotation I kind of feel are a bit contaminated, so I'm not too worried about them anymore. Not like how I was with the other areas of rotation. 1 a.m. Central, yeah. I most likely won't be up for that. And here comes the extension.
Tornado warning for northeastern Grant County in southwestern Wisconsin, southwestern Richland County in southwestern Wisconsin, Grant and Richland County in Wisconsin.
So that's a tornado warning now in effect for Westport, Orion, as well as Mount Ida, all the way down towards just north of Platteville in Wisconsin. Make sure you are seeking shelter. There's that new warning. Yeah, it's really gotten messy. Gracious day. That warning goes till 12:45. I do not believe we will be live until that expires. Oh yeah, there's going to be more severe weather tomorrow, no doubt about that. It's just a matter of how significant will it be, and will it be like today's tornado threat. So we're going to just wait here and keep a very, very close eye on that radar. Just the overall structure of this storm has died so fast. Look how it's gotten more wavy like this. It's gotten more line, like an outflow dominant here. Whereas if we go back to when this was producing a strong tornado, for instance, this portion of the line wasn't even touching it. This was its own storm up here, and we had that embedded supercell back here. Whereas now that line has kind of merged itself with the supercell, and they're kind of now just one big line here. Anyway, back to bed. Alrighty. We probably won't be here till about 12:36 is probably when we'll conclude. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that like button to help us reach a bit more people whilst we're still here. And if you can, share this with your family, friends, social media, especially if they're in the path of these storms. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. It's greatly, greatly appreciated. I try to be here as frequently as possible. This was a last-second stream thanks to a strong tornado. I almost missed it. Glad I kept my computer on for a couple more minutes. Ooh, that area of rotation's really strengthened in Charleston. Gracious. Yeah, good thing they warned that. They warned that pretty early, too. Let me see how strong that is. That is, yeah, that's up to 80-mile-an-hour rotation there in Charleston. That could very easily produce a tornado. So if we do have a tornado ongoing here, west of Charleston, South Carolina, it would be for Castlewood. If this was a tornado on the ground, it would be directly over Highway 17, going just towards Carolina Bay, which is on the edge of this tornado warning. They will probably extend that based on how strong that area of rotation is at the moment. I'm telling y'all, all it takes for these tornadoes to stop producing is me just going live. These storms just like to stop producing when I go live, so I think the key here is to just always be live. Yeah, tomorrow's threat may kick up as early as 1 p.m. I just feel like that's the HRRR being the HRRR and not actually being correct there. We'll just see when I go live, because like I said, I may or may not be heading down to Myrtle Beach for this, for Debby out there, probably sometime Wednesday. It's still gonna try. It's just too orientated to the northeast to southwest at the moment. It's just not good enough. It's too bow echoed. We'll see. If it can get more orientated north to south, it will have a better chance of producing a tornado here. So if we could see this, see how this is looking more bowed out like this in this area. Not as bad on that south side. Not as bad on that south side, but this, the northern portion, Blue River, that area, it's orientated from northwest down to kind of southeast and then turning to southwest, west-southwest. That is unfavorable for tornadoes unless you have a bookend vortex in place, which would be located right up in this area, which there is currently no bookend vortex there. So this is currently unfavorable for tornadoes because of that orientation. Now, if it was orientated more like this, it'd be favorable for a tornado threat, but it's too curved back. It's too far to the west here. And this one's not as bad. Like I said, this one's a little bit more solid on a northeast to southwest orientation. Still not the best. You really want it from north to south for to see that tornado threat. But still can't rule out a tornado here. Still very large, potentially strong region of rotation of about 80 mile an hour winds out here southwest of North Charleston, South Carolina. John Island, make sure you're still seeking shelter there. St. Andrew, Centerville in South Carolina, please be in your safe spot. A tornado could drop at any moment. I'd be very surprised if we don't hear a extension here very, very shortly. That is in South Carolina. Let's go back to Wisconsin. It's trying. It's just not favorable. It's not going to be able to ramp up because of that orientation from northeast to southwest. If it could get a cell merge behind it to help push that orientation more north to south, like back here. This was a really good orientation. Gracious. I'm kind of surprised that didn't produce a tornado. I'm pretty surprised that didn't produce a tornado. Man. It's just not in a favorable motion at the moment, and that's what it fully depends on. When you're in an environment like this, it fully depends on that storm mode and cell interactions. Which is something we cannot really predict until it happens. It's most of the time fairly uncertain. Here comes that
Berkeley,
extension.
Charleston, and Dorchester County in South Carolina
Are under a tornado warning. You need to include that too, you AI voice. I just don't know what to think about tomorrow. It could be pretty interesting. I'm going to go look at CSU. I know NATOcast has a big 5%, but I don't even know if I agree with that. 12Z. Nope, not going to show. Not going to show. CSU is not wanting to be kind here. Ooh. Nah. It's still on that unfavorable orientation. Doesn't mean it can't produce a tornado. It just means it's a whole lot less likely. And I mean a whole lot less likely. Iowa County, Wisconsin. Are you sure that's not in Iowa? Let's go over to that. I'd be watching this very, very, very closely. It's probably worth staying up because that is an area that I would be watching here in about 25 minutes or so. You very well could be put inside a tornado warning. Let me look more south here. I'm really just watching this. This area is it's terribly orientated. It's not going to be able to do anything unless it's very quick spin up. So I'm really watching this area right here to see if it can try its best somehow to get its act together. And I just can't tell you if that's going to happen or not, because it's just going to be something we have to watch scan by scan here. I know radar says that there's extremely strong rotation in place here, but that's NROT, and it's probably a bit contaminated, so I'm not relying off of that at the moment. Yeah, there's that new extension to the one in South Carolina, by the way, now including Somerville. Ooh. I didn't even realize that rotation got even stronger. Let me see how much stronger that's gotten. Go to my other radar site here. Yeah, that's gotten just a little bit stronger. Looks like it's 91 mile an hour rotation now, right about there. So that's pretty, that's getting pretty strong. That's going to be the spin-up tornado action we see throughout the whole night in South Carolina into North Carolina. I do want to quickly get a look at satellite imagery before I start heading out here. Wow. Debby is very close to water. Very, very close to over water. Let's see where that center is. Probably about 25 miles from getting in the water already. Right at the edge. Yeah, this is still getting unfavorable. I mean, it's just in a perfect orientation to the point where I think we should be okay to end the stream here pretty soon. Okay, SPC just did a mesoscale discussion. The tornado risk on the remainder of watch issuance 600. I didn't even realize that. Watch issuance 600. A new watch will not be issued. At the moment, it appears very reasonable to allow the watch issuance to expire at the scheduled time of don't know why they say 0605Z. Like choose a time. It's 06Z, I believe. I could go look at it right now. It ain't even that. It's 0530Z, I believe. Yeah, 0530. Or 530Z is what you'd call it. 530Z. I don't know why they put a 0 in front of it. That just it just sounds weird. I mean, the UTC time says it, though. It says, it doesn't say 42849. It says 04. But yeah, they're going to let that watch expire. Here comes a new warning.
Beaufort and Culleton County in South Carolina.
Beaufort. Oh, wow. That rotation just died in one scan. Beaufort. That's down here. Oh, hey. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. That's another area rotation that's going to move on land here towards Beaufort. So if you're in Beaufort, make sure you are in your safe spot, Port Royal as well. Tornado could be, well, waterspout moving on land, which would make it a tornado, is going to be a possibility there. And that other area rotation has completely fallen apart up here. It's gotten really far inland, and these tropical tornadoes, they, you know, it depends on the system, the ingredients, and everything. But for today, particularly today, these storms don't last very long after they go over land in South Carolina. All right, let me go see this. You're gonna get storms out there near Milwaukee. Let's see. You're gonna get them later on tonight, but you're not gonna get anything, or at least I don't believe you'll see anything significant. It should be right around 4 a.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Central. Oh, that area rotation came back on the new scan. It came back on a new scan there. It's still trying. We'll see if we can, we'll see if it does it northwest of Charleston. Let me go back to our storm in Wisconsin. Yeah, they've issued a severe thunderstorm warning now, so if you are out there in Dodgeville, I know we have some from Dodgeville, make sure you're staying indoors away from doors and windows, and also make sure you know where your safe spot is, because that is a tornado possible severe, which means a tornado warning may be issued in the near term as a storm approaches you that may potentially produce a tornado. But all right, that's gonna be about it, y'all. We didn't do intro music, so I'm not gonna do outro music. So I'll just keep looking at these radar scans for the next 5 minutes before we end here, and then we'll just end abruptly. This was urgent coverage out of nowhere, thanks to a strong tornado that was on the ground for a couple minutes, and now the strong tornado's completely lifted. And this storm is currently going outflow dominant, resulting in more of a damaging wind threat. Still, spin up tornado, potentially even a strong spin up tornado, will be a possibility throughout the next 28 minutes or so till 1 a.m. Eastern. The tornado watch will expire at 1:30 a.m. Eastern, as things are no longer expected to be tornadic after that time frame. The severe thunderstorm warning will expire at 1:30 a.m. Central, along with that tornado watch. Main tornado threat is definitely going to be focused in on South Carolina now. We had that very conditional overnight tornado threat up here, and it managed to perform. We probably had near 10 tornadoes, if not maybe even slightly more than that, up here, all the way from just to the southwest of the Twin Cities, all the way through Iowa into Illinois and Wisconsin. Probably had just over 10 tornadoes occur, which is very much a regional tornado outbreak there. So, see if the GFS is coming in, and it still will not budge. It's still not budge. It has Debby going right back into Georgia, which I don't find that a possibility. The GFS is dumb. That's the only logical conclusion here. The only logical conclusion for the GFS model is it's stupid. It won't listen. I don't know what it's doing. All right, one last look at the radar up here, and yeah, it is done. It is done out here. Now that cell merge could still promote a brief tornado out of that, but I am going to close that radar site, and yeah. This could also still produce a tornado as it moves on shore, so. Is that Frogmore? Freaking Frogmore. Make sure you are in your safe spot, because you're under a tornado warning. Easterly wind burst? Where? What are you talking about? You're talking about on Debby? Oh, you're talking about that thing. You're talking about that thing. I'm not interested in that thing. Well, Elite, we're wrapping up. This is tornado warning currently in South Carolina for Beaufort, Frogmore. We also have a tornado warning in effect just to the northwest of North Charleston, as well as a tornado warning in effect way up here in the just west of Highland in southwestern Wisconsin. We just finished and starting to conclude our urgent live stream because of a strong tornado that was ongoing for a while. And I appreciate all the people who tuned in. We had over 70 people watching, or actually almost 80 people watching at one point. We reached just about 1,000 people with this very quick 1-hour urgent coverage. Whenever there's a strong tornado on the ground and I'm awake for it, I try to do these urgent coverages. We just go live on a second's notice, so I highly suggest that if you are subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that notification bell set to all. That way you don't miss these urgent coverage streams that are not planned whatsoever and come out of nowhere. And hit the like button, as well as share the channel with family, friends, social media. It's greatly appreciated. Yeah, we had multiple touchdowns in South Carolina today. Probably right around 7, 8 tornadoes in South Carolina. Honestly, I lost count. It got to a point where we had so many tornadoes in South Carolina, I lost count. I remember at least 6. At least 6 in South Carolina. At least 8 across southern Minnesota. And then an additional 2 in northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin. I mean, we've had probably near 20 tornadoes today overall. Oh, and then the one in Buffalo, New York, too. But yeah, thank you for subscribing, Elite. That is going to be it for today's live stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. No outro music. This stream is going to end right now. Thank you, mods, for modding chat. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe.